Peace. What's happening out there? Reporting live from the allotment. I know it's been a while. Wanted to touch base and just like, for my own record, like a lot of stuff was done here. It's always great to document, document things like this. This allotment has been a beautiful journey. Journey of growth, understanding, manifestation, really and truly. Seeing how things grow, seeing how things die, tasting real food, that you grown yourself and nurtured and looked after, and the discipline that it takes, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, let me show y'all what's been going on, because this is still winter time here in UK, in London. And the whole plan was really to create a place where we not only grow food, but where we like to come and hang, where we could get away from everything and we just get away from people. Get very much away from people, and be in nature and just be immersed with nature. So having a soundtrack like this, is beautiful. This is in a particular location where you don't hear no cars, you don't hear anything like that. You close your eyes and just disappear. But aside from all that, I love to experiment. And through this experimentation, it's always about failing forward. A lot of people are scared to do things because they're scared of failure. But within failure is the lessons, So no, I don't come from a farming background, even though it was stuff that like my mother did probably in the islands and, my grandmother did and stuff like that. I didn't come up with a farming background, But even though I didn't come up with a farming background, I've come to notice that it's still within me. There's something that is still passed along in that genetic code, And particular things that I didn't even that I didn't know, or I never thought I knew, I just naturally did. I just did what my spirit told me, or what I was in line with, and So anyway, within that research, we're just given a regular plot of land. This was not given, but Emily's been on here for 5-6 years. She was doing her own thing, and it was time to switch up. It became overwhelming, and she wanted additional help, really and truly, just to reinvigorate that, that passion that she has, that love that she has for growing. So after talking about the particular problems that she would face on here with like lack of help and the weeding and stuff like that, we said, okay, now that we're doing this over, let's go ahead and tackle some of these problems from the jump. So weeding. So if I'm looking at some of these allotments around me, is the standard flex, right? The old school ways of farming. Nothing's wrong with it. They still produce the things that they want to produce and eat. So it's getting a space of land like this, and cultivating that land. So nothing has been put on here in particular. Like you see some microgreens growing over here, but you're using the soil, the existing soil that's here. So yeah, lots of weeds come out from that. This is a relatively well organized spot. You can see other things are not as organized, you know, but that is how they choose to do their thing. Everybody does their thing differently, you know. So I'm cool with that. People tend to talk about their time, what time you have. We all have the same amount of time, but within that time, it's all different choices that we make. You can create whatever time that you feel is necessary for what you find valuable. You understand? Because as much as you'll make different reasons for why you couldn't do something, for something that you feel is valuable, you create that time for it, or create that time for them. So I just give thanks for finding the value within what I'm doing. You know, what Emily have given me the opportunity to, you know, to come on board with and be a part of this, create this, you know. So that being said, let me flip this. So last year, it started probably last year, April. It was just a complete flat land, basically. And this is what we have, this year, what is this, like, I don't know, 9 months in? So ours looks very, very different. Like I said, you can see we have here the traditional method, growing methods. And let's not even be fooled, like some people's plots, they just haven't been here in, you know, 6, 7 months. That's why it looks the way it does. So you get what you put in. So within this, you see a lot of different structures going on. So first of all, aside from, I'll wait 1 second. Yeah. So to tackle the whole thing with wanting to weed anymore, this is what we did. Put mulch down on the whole thing. So yeah, this mulch has been laid out pile after pile for whatever, the last few months, 7 to 8 months. So within this, you can see that there is nothing growing up. I have never seen anything even pop up. I made sure to cover it well, right? So the ground underneath here is getting to heal. And to heal, replenish, go through that whole cycles, which it never has an opportunity to do because things are always growing. You should really truly allow the land to replenish for I don't know how long, but you should. But our ground under there is being so I'm gonna go through this relatively fast because I don't want this to be too long. So that is wood mulch. That is wood mulch, and that is probably about, at this point, probably about 10 inches thick. 10 inches thick of wood mulch, you know. While you're in the UK or any cold place around the world, if you plan to continue growth throughout winter, you need structures. So through our own research and getting different books, you know, square foot gardening by something Bartholomew. You can look up Square Foot Gardening. That was a great book to give me loads of ideas, really expanded on a lot of things and taught me a lot of things that I had no idea of because, once again, I'm not a farmer, you know what I mean? But not like you have to be a farmer to get into growing, all right? So, structures. Knew that, okay, at one particular time, it's gonna get too cold for the plants to continue to grow out here and we're gonna have a lack of sunlight, all those type of things. But to try to extend the growing season, what? Need structures, right? Need structures so the plants could grow under those structures. So that's why we come the polytunnel. So that's one thing that we put on this land. So we actually bought this. I say actually because a lot of the stuff on the plot we got out of skips, trash cans, stuff that we found on the side of the road, recycled materials, and we brought it over here. And let me just tell you, like, I don't have a car. you know. Well, not a car like the rest of you people would think, but this is my car, right here. This is my car. You see that? That's my Lamborghini. Most of the stuff that was brought over here, transported on here. Yeah, slowly and surely, you know what I mean? One piece of wood at a time or 3 pieces of wood at a time strapped onto here. And that's not electric. And yes, I'm on my scooter daily. That is my regular form of transportation. I don't like to take the bus, and I prefer to scoot. So that, me not having a car did not discourage me at all. I just said, okay, well, little by little, just little by little. That's cool. I like being resourceful. Okay, so still on to the structures. I mean, if you hear, so at one particular time, we just had like some tarp, like 4 posts and some tarp and an open structure, like, don't know what the hell, it was like a little shanty town and shit, like a little teepee looking thing. But what happens? Once you start putting out particular things, you know, really like the energies that be, like, just bring it all together. Since I was really focused on building and creating, like, different things started to pop up, and I started to take more notice of certain opportunities. So, helping out the groundskeeper over here, some real old dude, he's been here for like forever, but he's great dude, got loads of information. I was helping him out with the bees one day, and I stepped on some glass. I just noticed that I didn't know it was glass at the time, but I noticed I was stepping on something that was not the ground. And when I looked down, there was stuff that was all grown over, like plants grown over it. I moved these plants away, and then I'm like, yo, what's this? And he tells me, oh, yo, yeah, those are some glass that he was supposed to use for a greenhouse, da-da-da-da-da. That was like, they've been there for 5 years, just that long, they just grew stuff over them. So he's like, oh, I don't want them, da-da-da-da. He's an old school, I think, Irish dude, like, I don't know. Sometimes you understand him, sometimes you don't, but whatever the case. So he said, if you want him, you could take him. And I was like, oh, perfect. I was like, yep, I'll take him ASAP. I went to the corner of the road, up there. There was some homeless dude that I normally pass by. Sometimes I give him some change or get him some food. And I was like, hey, could you help me out real quick? I'll give you some change, da-da-da-da. He came through right then and there, helped me move these heavy-ass windows. You're talking about double glazed glass windows with metal framing. Like, these are expensive windows that I've just been given for free. So anyway, just telling you all that story, that he brought me these things, gave him some change, and from that point on, I started building, you know. When Emily's around, yeah, she definitely puts her hands in, but I was just transforming that particular structure into a greenhouse. And this is what it looks like. Solid structure. So these are the windows that I was talking about that was just covered by plants. Double glazed windows, heavy duty, metal framing. So before all this was opened up, it was like, didn't have no structure, didn't have no roof. But let me bring you in here, see what it looks like. Oh, let me show you, did I show you fully? So the greenhouse was built, and then probably about a month later, added on this storage right here. Just additional storage to put all our things in, additional stuff. Like, I got some more wood there. I got different things that we need, you know. So that was great because that created more space in here. So now the challenge in here in the greenhouse was, boom, here we go. And the temperature outside right now is about 50 degrees. So you can check this out in the greenhouse. We're 12 degrees higher. And let me tell you, that's just a minimum, because just last week it was about equivalent of like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, work it out. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, but you know what? It was 70 degrees in here, 30-degree difference. It was crazy. Like, so But that came over time, building up little by little, because I started adding on certain things and I was like, oh, it's still not good. There's still so much draft, so much additional air that's just coming in, the cold air. And imagine the structure is just sitting out here the whole time. So you have to make sure that it's really sealed up properly to just hold on to that heat that we get from the little sun that we get. This is what sun looks like in London. This is, you see what I'm saying? This is the type of sun, and whatever, like, that's pretty much how it is majority of days, small pockets. So yeah, even in the summertime, yeah, we got, but it's not anything to be like, wow, about. But whatever, it's winter. So we know we're gonna get even less sun than we normally have. But for it being winter, still wanted to get some growing done in here. And after time, adding on spots, adding on stuff, because it was just tarp on the outside. Then tarp is not a good not good insulation. So learning as I go, like, okay, nope, let me start putting some wood behind. So then started putting wood and covering up more spaces with the wood. Then after that, like, okay, there's still pockets, what's going on? Then I started to just get real creative with it. You can see some stuff here. So what are they here? Oh, let me turn it this way. So first you have like the tarp that was on the outside, and then wood, right? But then of course some air still comes through. So then what I did, I had these regular garbage bags, regular garbage bags, inexpensive. I lined the garbage bags, just garbage bags around. Like, you open up the garbage bags, put it there, and then I put this. Emily had like old towels and stuff that she had from different massage therapies that she did, because that's what she does. So she always has like loads of towels and different things. So put layer of the plastic, layer of the garbage bags, to stop the water from coming through properly. And then over the garbage bags, put a towel. Then over the towel, put tarp. And then over the tarp, put another layer of towel. And then over that last layer of towel, then put this aluminum foil. It's aluminum foil, I'll just say that, but it's insulation, it reflects the light, it absorbs the sunlight and all that, and allows air to be not as cold in the nighttime. But you see, did all that around. So this was a long process. You just seen the end. So this is how everything looks. And then formed it in, caulked up around all the extra spaces. So now there's no drafts in here whatsoever. Certain glass, but there's no draft in here. And the top is tarp. It's 2 layers of tarp. But you can see the temperature once again, 62. And like I said, it's 50 degrees outside. So now, did accomplish the mission? Well, we see some green in here, right? So yes, missions accomplished. Stuff is growing. Have ate out of here through winter. Things that I try to plant in the middle spaces that you see empty, they didn't take. And those were tomatoes. I was trying to experiment a lot. But you know what? I realized that when I planted those tomatoes, I don't care about the time, I don't care about the season, but when I planted those tomatoes, the conditions in here weren't what they are now. They weren't that well. It was still, I didn't have the insulation on. There was still a lot of draft coming in, so there was no way that they would even survive. But as you can see, the rockets and some of the purple Pak Choy and stuff like that, now they're loving it in here. So for me to plant something in here now, they're definitely going to thrive. But it's still experience for next year. Next year, watch the abundance that's going to be in here through the winter time. It's going to be wild. So yeah, and indoor space, so I could be out here. It's very important when you have an allotment. Yeah, get yourself some growing space, like some undercover, like under a cover, a growing space, like whether it's a greenhouse or it's a polytunnel. This allows you to still come out here and do your works. You could hang out if you wanted to, but say you're doing some works and the weather becomes bad, it's too cold outside, I could still do the work in here and go outside and build, come back inside for a little bit. I could do that. If it's raining, instead of just leaving altogether, oh, I just got here, now it's raining. No, I could just come in here, work on something else while it's raining, you know, and when the rain stops, I could go back out. So that allows me to really get ahead by having this space, you know, that's shaded, that's under cover. So that's really cool. So I tell you, everyone could do it. People talk about like having to spend a lot of money and all that. No, you don't. You could be resourceful. You could just pick stuff up, you know. I says that, I was telling Salome the other day where I got it from, but I was like, yo, those that can do, right? But those that can't, just pay someone else to do it. That's it. So the people around here, a lot of them are just retired heads, older heads and stuff like that. Like we probably like the youngest people on here. So we keep things interesting. They're always like, oh, look at these young people doing their stuff. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, whatever, who cares? They're not doing the traditional way. Yeah, that's the whole point. But yeah, you say, hey, sematawika, but I don't know how to build. Okay, well, then pay someone else to do it or learn. You know what I mean? And how else are you going to learn yourself? By just trying, doing something. You have to do something. Get a hammer, get nails, put something together. Look on YouTube. There's so much stuff that you could just look at YouTube, see how to do it, and just do it. Once again, if you find, if this is really in you, you know what I mean? You really want to get this going and it's in your heart, you're going to find a way to do it. So that there really is no excuses. You know. But now another growing space. So that's one, right? That's one right there. I'm gonna show you the next. I see people talking about a whole bunch of their polytunnels and their greenhouses and how much they cost and thousands and thousands and thousands. Yo, this right here, it's majority of it is time. My time. How much time will you invest in this? That still is the money, right? My time. So whether I'm coming and I got a particular day that I could put 4 hours in, 5 hours in, or I could only get an hour in, it's still something. But you're not going to get any time in at all. So next, the polytunnel. Yo, this was cheap. I've seen people talk about 4,000, 5,000, 2,000. I'm like, all these crazy things. Yo, we got this for like 65 pounds, brand new. Yes, it doesn't have as much structural pieces as the more expensive ones, but you know what? We worked with what we could and what we had. So I added on additional structural pieces using the bamboo. So you can see all that right there. So that's perfectly fine. You can do that. Got tons more. And these bamboos, they're relatively cheap. You probably could get them for 50p a stick, you know, come in bundles. So that's 6 feet, sometimes 8 feet. But let's see what we got in here. See, once I see green, that's good enough. That means mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I see all these other heads, these other, you know, YouTube farmers and growers, and they're like, damn, look at all these stuff, And I wish I could have just loads of stuff just like them, but I gotta keep in mind, you know, they've been doing this longer than me. This is still got the training wheels, still just going. So to be just coming up to the first year and still to be able to have green through winter, I gotta celebrate that achievement. But let's get in here. So you see, got some Portuguese cabbage, and that's growing nice. Look at the leaves, they look lovely, growing nice and tall. Boom, boom. And we got some onions here. Onions, maybe some garlic, maybe it's a mixture. Don't really know, sometimes forget. This is some purple Pak Choy that my son planted, you know. Coming up. I like to see a little patch of purple. Wish he put them around, but I think he just put all the seeds in one spot, but I let them do their thing. This was supposed to be different tomatoes and stuff like that that was growing, but they didn't grow. But that was last year, but this year's gonna be different. And got kale over here. And the kale looks lovely. You know, new kale still just growing through at the top. So yes. All right. And then moving on to this. This is where I'm at right now. It's my vertical growing space, right? Vertical cold frame. So you can see, well, I think I probably skipped ahead. Well, this was the first one. So it's just like a raised bed, extra high raised bed with a lid on it. Keep out the cold, right? So right here, you see, got a nice hinge door on that. That structure changed a few times, you know. But yeah, you see nothing is really growing in here. It's perfectly fine. The idea manifested. We executed it properly, and we know in the next few weeks, there's gonna be a lot of great stuff growing in here. So from that one, that just really protects whatever it is from the cold, that's gonna be nice. Then I just did a bigger one. These are all things that found. This is another window. That's one of those windows right there that I used on here. How do I get in? Well, I'm building the door right there. That's gonna be a slide up door. And right here, this is actually on some tracks. I need to put a handle here, but this pulls out. That pulls out on the track, and you have access to in here. See, all this is gonna be growing space. It's gonna be tons of growing space in here. Tons. And yeah, why do I have mirrors in here? Because I found those mirrors on the side of the road, and I thought it would be nice to have mirrors where the plants are growing. I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe the other plants will, I don't know, like to look at their reflection or feel like they're in the company of a whole bunch of other plants when by having that reflection there. I don't know. Whatever the case, that's what I felt. But in any case, it still will reflect the little sunlight that we get over here, right? Either reflect it or burn some shit up. We shall see. So yeah, close that up. So summertime, we could leave it open, give it some more air. Or if you want, you could just close it up. But really, what people don't talk about out here in the allotment as well is really the need to protect your food, protect your food. If you're not, we can't be out here 24/7. And I've watched so many different animals over here just eat up the food, eat up it completely. This dude over here, he had tons of corn that was on his plot. It was just right there. It was somewhere on his plot, and a whole bunch of squirrels. Every day I would watch the squirrels just go and just sit on his corn stalk and eat the corn. The squirrels just eat the corn like humans, eat the corn and just drop it. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. So yeah, observing my surroundings, I'm seeing like, when we do that, I need to build a structure to keep the corn in. I'm not out here to be here for, 5-6 months going hard into the ground and, for these animals to eat the shit up. No, it's for me. They got enough stuff, like, leave my stuff alone, So yeah, cold frame as well, to just have your stuff enclosed. So certain things we're gonna have enclosed so we just don't even have to worry about the stuff getting eaten up by the wildlife out here. So that will be closed. It's closed. That'll be in some glass on top as well. I already got the glass on the inside. Just lays down right on the top. So that's great. Okay. On to this. Got this over here for stringing. We're doing a lot of vertical growing. Because vertical growing, we could get more in the same area by growing things upward instead of allowing it to spill out all on the ground. As well as, just getting the fruits off the ground is going to be greater. Gonna be great ultimately because yeah, aside from having more space to grow things because since they're growing upwards, having the fruits and the veg off the ground and growing up is better because they don't have to stay there on the ground and get eaten up by slugs or whatever other things. And that airflow, having that air and all that. There's more benefits, but it's just gonna look so cool too. You know what I mean? Just tons of shit growing up like a forest, whatnot. So yeah, fences, other things added on. So these fences are going to be also used to grow some structures or to build other things off to grow structures upward. That was like bed framing. We closed off, used that, just slapped it in there. So and this is right now, we're just like, that may stay there and may use that as well to grow things off of, things to climbing things. Watch, you probably can't see, but it's gonna look real cool. This right here, I'm gonna build that up more and enclose that whole thing. So add more on bamboo. We're gonna have tons of different beans in there. Right now we only got some rockets, and we got some salads down here that are so resilient or winter hardy. So it's over here. This is my compost. So yeah, have the compost in the ground. It's nice and easy. What I got in there, you see that? So I'll go into another video about why I'm doing it this particular way. But yeah, that goes all the way into the ground, and that's a big bucket. It probably goes a good 6 feet at least into the ground. Right? And then building, more beds. All these are beds. Things to be planted in. All these are beds, Israel. Beds, things to be planted in. So people say, okay, yeah, just rest, whatever the case. No, this is the perfect time to get your work in. So put all this work in now. So in the next 2-3 months, just sit back, just plant, and just be on a different level. So you got to put the work in. I'd rather be putting the work in now, building stuff while it's cold, than summertime having to stress out and build it while it's hot or whatever. No, I just want to chill then. You full tour. So this rainwater collecting system was built. I'm not going to go all the way around. Try to show you from here. You see I built it on the side, and it catches the rain. Comes right in there, and stores right here. It's a great water system. That's it. Got fresh water all the time. Another experiment here. This is some perpetual lettuce growing in here. Why is it in this tub? Because I tried to grow it before, and I know it was too cold. So what I was doing, I created another microclimate for it, right? I would put it in here, cover that up, and then I would put it in the greenhouse. So that gave it enough heat for them to start pushing these up, because before they didn't. So just get into microclimates, experimenting with this. You gotta experiment. No matter what people say or what you read, you gotta try it for self, because when you try it for self, that's when it becomes real, okay? Because even people that have been growing for years, they could tell you some shit, and who knows, you could have just have that green thumb, just the way you go about doing it, the way you connect with it, it just works for you. So even if you don't know what you're doing, it's cool to listen to someone else and get some guidance. But when you're over here doing it yourself and you've done it once, you might say, next time around, I'm gonna switch this a little bit, I'm gonna do this. And then that's how you build your own thing, create your own way. So that is pretty much it, right? I think I gave you full, what's here? Okay, here's the raspberry. No, this is a strawberry bed. So this was built probably 5-6 months ago, the actual bed around it. So try to contain them more. But definitely want to build this into a structure so it's enclosed. So yeah, we actually get to eat the majority of our strawberries and not everyone else. These are raspberries. Raspberries cut down. They're gonna just spring back up again. And this is another bed creating. This was a lot of beans before, but I'm gonna build this bed up and enclose it as well with some enviromesh or something like that. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. This is over the past 9 months, you know? Yeah. And of course, got a barbecue grill over here because love to light fires. But yeah. But I got some business to tend to right now, so y'all ain't got to leave. We got to get the hell out of here. Peace.